Struggling with prop firms? Let's go.
Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Okay, today we're going to be using gold for the example. NFP day today, really crazy. I don't want to make this video too long, and we'll keep it nice, short and simple. So we've had this break of structure over here, this high over here, however you want to look at it. Now I've always shown how you can mark out these zones, keeping things very simple. As we can see, obviously around 1:30, that's when news came in, and absolutely price all the way down here, right? The early clue that price could have gone bullish, well, was this one. Now I never trade the news. I would never trade this trend line of I don't obviously I'm not trend line trader, but I would never trade the news, simply because you can be right, let's just say even 10 times, right? I'll bring myself in a few times, and then I'll just move on. I just want you to focus on the charts. You can be right about 10 times. With the NFP, I don't care. You can be right even how can like maybe 5-6 times. You only have to be wrong once. When it comes to these high impact news folder, red folder news, you only have to be wrong once and it's all gone. And I'm not even talking about I'll give you an example, right? I was trading with this was a long time ago. I totally forgot it was NFP, and this was a prop firm. I won't mention the prop firm. And what happened was, totally forgot it was NFP. What I did was, because obviously if you remember my mentorship and all that, and, the way I trade, once trade likes to go a little bit into profit, I'll just put my trade at break even. Guess what ended up happening? NFP hit me, right? Now you might be thinking, well, if you're at break even, you're still okay. No, I kid you not, right? I lost 14%, minus, well, however you want to call it. Never mind hitting that 5% daily drawdown, right? It hit way more than the overall drawdown, 14%, just by putting my trade at break even. So again, right, if the spreads go insane, and if you use your personal accounts, trust me, it is not worth it. Like I mentioned, you only have to be wrong once. So anyways, but still you can see price acting nicely. Now why did that happen? Call it a one-off, maybe it was a fluke, or call it just price, the way the fundamentals and news, everything works, liquidity sweeps, whatever you want to call it, how you want to look at it. This engine, whatever drives the markets, right, it runs in a certain way. There's no doubt about that. Whether you want to call it breaks, it wants to create some kind of structure. It wants to create, obviously there's things that happen around the world, obviously, that shapes the markets, right? There's no, there's no doubt about that. But still, obviously it's as if it's got its own mind. Now obviously we've got this trend. Now price is making new highs. Well, this over here at this point breaks all these previous structure highs, and then we're creating new higher lows. We're not really going any lower, right? So we're creating higher highs and higher lows. Now price here, this was an early sign, but then again, does this mean you still, because you're going bullish from here, there's still, should you have taken a buy from, like, no, I'm just giving you an example how nicely it still worked out, right? We can see over here, if I just zoom in, price is just creating new, and you can even use different tools. I obviously use only the one session indicator, which tells me from Asian session, London session, New York session, things like that. But you can keep things very simple, right? Price is making new highs. Price, let's actually do this. Let's go in. Let's type in higher highs, right? So I see I've back tested all these added to my favorites. I've just used these over the years. I don't even know which one's which. So I'm just hoping that one brings up. Okay, perfect. So look at this. Price here, higher high, higher low, higher high. Now this was a lower low, but overall, look at this. Price comes up here, but overall we still, we're not disrespecting this trend line, right? We're not disrespecting the trend line, and then price just absolutely skyrockets from here. So if you even had your stop loss quite a decent size, but let's just look at this. Then what happens? Let me just delete these indicators, because I'm just going to change the color of my candlesticks. Price broke through, and then what can we look for? Right, let's go to always a smaller time frame. And like I was mentioned, when you go to a small time frame, make sure you stick to these. Don't flick through a lot. I'm just going to The reason why I flick through these different time frames is simply because just to show you, right, which one. Obviously the way I trade is not like this. It is the break and retest by my own edge. You got long wick rejection, so one is price breaking through, one is actually support, being verified, holding its ground. But your money candle would have been this one over here, the best one to say the least. Put this on, and your stops below the zone, below the wick. The lowest one, which ideally would be better, and still you would have got a nice little, I remember you traded the NFP, right? So you want to ideally have your stops big, but this is in little 1 to 2. Now if you want to get those sniper entries, which I always show, and one of the reasons why I always pass these problem challenges so quickly, right? Look at this. Go to a much small time frame. Again, the money candle, right? Again, just clean it up a bit here below this zone. There's multiple, just the way there are trends within trends, there are zones within zones. Keeping things very simple. This support held itself over here, so you've got not only now, look at this. Did you take the entry? Remember, this price will always retrace after the candle plants. It'll always retrace like maybe 20 to 30%. You're right, so it just gives you a cleaner entry. Now you got support here, support here. You got two supports, major support, minor support, but still it's like having a 1.5 support, right? So rather than, this is a major one if you want to call it, and this you can say 5 out of 10, this is 10 out of 10. So what I'm trying to say is 1.5, 15 altogether, it adds up to 15. So you got a nice little strong level of support, and then let's see what it adds up to over here. For almost 4 RR. Well, if you would have held it, okay, so you do have your 4 RR. Nice and simple. Now obviously you've been getting a lot of messages, do I offer these one-to-one, they will want me to help. So link will be in the video description. This is basically, obviously join the Discord community, almost up to 1,600 members now. That's just literally skyrocketing in the last few days. So yeah, this is the funded certificate section. You get to text student success, me passing these problem challenges super quick. This is testimonials, live trades, winning trades, losing trades. It's all shown here. Actually had a message, if I just show you, this from one of the students. Well, all he did was, he was in the mentorship, he just bought a course, right? This is just obviously just saying thank you, just past phase 1, phase 2. You took a small little 5k account, and again, right, the whole message I try to give, guys, is start small. Do not purchase these 200k accounts, these 100k accounts. When I'm passing these challenges, I had a student who's number 4 on the FTMO leaderboard with a 10k account. You don't have to be crazy. You don't have to do this crazy stuff. Why do I always show? If you watch my all my videos, if you watch them from the beginning, I've passed 200k accounts. I show it live, passing 200k accounts, 100k accounts, 60k accounts, 50k accounts, 60k with 5%. In case anyone's wondering, there's no such, as if no such thing as 60k. No, it does exist. 10k accounts, and then obviously the reason I show you 10k accounts, start small. Don't move to the bigger accounts if you don't have an edge. It is absolutely mind-boggling. I don't know how people do that. Prove to yourself first, do you have an edge? And if the answer is yes, then go prove it on a 10k account. And also I want to mention, patience is a very underrated skill, right? This is why the majority of you guys go wrong, and girls. Patience is part of trading, is a key element that you need in your trading. If you don't have it, then obviously it's not like you got to be sitting on charts every day and placing all these trades super quick and entering all the time. No. So I just want to go over gold today. Very, very simple, but those early signs, if you capitalize on the whole mood, the ones who do trade gold, will do as well. Let's go. Obviously what I always try to show is here, trade with the trend. This was a no-brainer, right? This was gold making all-time highs. We were very bullish. We got the volume, in some parts of these sort of setups that were occurred. Is very, very nice. This trend, this sort of a counter trend trade, right? I normally don't trade like that. Some of my students do, very minority of the but some of the students do. They just like to, obviously, as long as it's a high probability setup, then it makes sense. If it doesn't make then there's no point. You need to have enough confluences. Obviously I trade with confluences, and something even crazy as gold doesn't really look difficult. Once you know what you're doing, you have an edge. Trust me when I say even something like gold will look pretty simple. Now we've got obviously, let's look at this. So my market consolidating. We've got support level, we've got resistance level. Price eventually breaks through. Look at this. I can go to a small time frame over here. Watch this. I can go to a very small time frame. Go on the 2-minute time frame. Right, where do you think you should enter from? Whether it's the 1 minute, let's go, right? Let's go break through this down. Right? You got this bullish engulfing. You could enter off here. Right? Remember, candle all retrace a little bit here. You could have even wait for down here as well. Right? But normally you want to do it off the candle that is the next candle afterwards. So you get a little bit of retracement below the zone. Forget putting it below here. No, you want it below the zone as well to be a little bit extra safe. 2 minutes, if you're doing using the 2-minute time frame, then you want to make your stop loss a little bit bigger. Simple. And remember, next candle retraces a little bit. You can just still clean it up. Right? The magic is in your stop loss. Right? That's what's stopping you from becoming profitable. Trust me when I say that. It's people when they come to trading, right? And because everyone has all this greed, all this hunger to become filthy rich in the shortest amount of time. There's no shortcuts in trading. Let me make that very clear. No shortcuts. We come to trading in the beginning, we focus on this. How can we make this super big? No. You know what the real secret is, where the real skill is, what you do with this. Do you put your trades at break even? Do you move your stop loss to halfway point? You know, the real secret is this here, the stop loss here, right? I just want to keep this nice, short, simple. It is a Friday. I want you to guys go and enjoy your weekend as well. If you took time out to watch this, appreciate it. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Take care. I'm out.